Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel Anshika Goyal Illustration, and it's time to level up your illustrations. So today we are going to illustrate this beautiful dress which is having a pencil skirt, very beautiful big pink bow of satin and a latex corset area having some burst plates, if you can see some lines there. So I have this line art. I'm making some lines to show those burst plates, and as we know the light intensity of latex is very high, so I'm making some patches here, if you can see. So we are making some small patches to show the shine. When the light falls on any fabric, there's a shine develops. So for that I'm making these patches, and we will lift these patches white only, and the remaining I'm doing with black, as the costume has black fabric of latex. So let's do the base coat of black all over, leaving those patches white only, and you will see a very pretty shiny effect will come with this. Different fabrics have their different light intensity. Latex has very high, silk has quite low than latex, then we have satin, velvet. The light intensities, when the light source fall on those fabrics, their effects come very different, and that is how we used to determine that this is this fabric rendering or this particular rendering is of this fabric. So we really need to know how it works. So for the latex, the light intensity is very high, so we are leaving that patchy part white only. Till then let it dry, and let's do our skirt, which is not of the latex one. So I'm doing this base coat of black all over, and as I have already told in every class of mine that in the base coat the ratio of water will be more than the color. Once the base coat is done, the basic coating is done, it will be easier for us to just darken up the shade or lighten up the shade very easily according to our fabric preference. That's why we always do a base coat first. Now the color is dry, so I'm making it more black in some parts, because the base coat become very lighter when it gets dry. So when it gets dry, after that we have to manipulate our shades according to the different fabric. A very effective way to make our shine look effective is that always give darker shade in the sides of all the shine we give in the fabric. As you can see here also, in all the shine patch I have given some darker shade of black in every side. Now coming on to the bow, let it dry, let the corset dry. Coming on to the bow, I am doing it with the highlighter. You can have this pink highlighter, so that the rendering can be done with an ease. We can do it with watercolor also, with the same procedure: base coat, shade, outline, merging, etc. So the color of the dress is like this only, that's why we are doing it with this light pink color. Now I'm taking the darker shade of pink. This is a sketch pen which I'm using, so you can take any sketch pen of same color tone. And then I have made some lines. These are the lines of fold. This is a very big bow with a fabric, so this is very common or a thing to know, that when the fabric is folded in different way, doesn't matter which fabric is that, some folds will definitely create. So we have to show that folds very nicely. So once it is done, we have to merge that. Since we are doing it with the sketch pen, so I'm merging it with the highlighter pen only. I'm just applying and rubbing it all over where I have done this dark pink. Now taking this Stedler of quite reddish in color, I'm giving some shade because the bow has this kind of shade in that, so that's why I'm adding some shade of red all over the folds. Now the last thing that we have to do is to add the shadows. It's really obvious that it's a very big bow and a lot of fabric is folded and made a shape. So there must have been a very high shadows falling. So to show that shadow area, we are doing it with black and also adding some white touches of the light. As the light intensity of satin is not very low, but it doesn't match according to latex. It's quite low than the latex, so that's why I'm showing some white area but not much higher than the latex one. Doing the same procedure on the another bow part, merging again with the highlighter pen, and it seems quite messy, but when it gets dry, the effect comes very well, so we have to wait to let it dry. Now I'm adding some red touch all over the bow, all over the folds, and then we will add our shadows. Every object, everything that we have in our surrounding, if you observe, has a light falling on it and has some shadows falling on it. So always observe the things around you and you will understand the logic of these shades and the darkness. And you can see the effects are coming. The satin effects are coming. The bow is looking very nice. Our folds are done very nice. So now I'm just adding some finishing, or I'm manipulating my folds again, because once everything is done, the procedure is done, we have to check if the effect is coming or not. If not, so we have to manipulate it again. So here I'm manipulating. I'm just making sure that my right side part and the left side part of the bow looks same. The effect looks same. And now it is. Coming on to the corset part again, taking this white pencil, or you can take a white pen, I'm adding some light shades. This is the rendering part that I'm doing, because we have to show some shades over the bust. The bust curve should be visible. The plaits that we have drawn, the plaits in between the abs, we have to show that too. So I'm adding those touches with this white pencil. You can see I'm not rubbing it very much hard, or I'm not making it very bright, just adding some bit of touches. And after that, with the sketch pen, I'm giving my finishing. As I've already told, that shine is very effective when the darkness falls or darkness is added in sides of that. So in every side of that white part, I'm adding this black. And now my corset is almost completed. and the effects are also coming very well of latex. Coming on to my skirt, that is quite shiny, and but the light intensity is not very high, so I am just adding some brightness with this white pencil only, and we'll repeat the same thing with the sketch pen. Sketch pen adds on the finishing to illustration, so I always try to use it and merge it with a wet brush. It's totally optional. If you want to merge it, you can. It's just that it makes the strokes very soothing. Now the final thing that we have to do is outline. I'm outlining my skin part with the brown micro tip pen, and I'm just finishing out my footwears. So once everything is done, the last and final thing that we have to do is outlining. And while outlining, you have to make sure that no strokes come out of it. We have to manage and manipulate if everything is in its way and looking good. If any color or any stroke is coming out, you have to just manipulate it and make it look good. So in the finishing, we have to take care of it. Outlining adds on the grace of illustration, and this is really very important part. So my illustration is done. In this we have learned a satin bow, latex, corset, and the dress is looking very beautiful. The couture is looking very nice and inspiring. So let me know if you like it or not, and thank you so much for watching. Keep supporting, like, share and subscribe.